Now come back. Oh. So when we start to look how we feel use comparison operators. Comparison operators now one of the most important things we feel learn for JavaScript so or for any programming language. If you say you want to do comparison operator, what thing I mean by that one? Comparison just means say now we say we they compare something. We just want to know whether something are true or whether something are false. We want to know whether something they on or we want to know whether something they off. We want to know whether something are yes or whether something are no. You fit even use and check whether person don't vote or person never votes. You fit use and check whether person don't get in PVC or whether person never get in PVC. You fit use and check the day we put them born person, whether person old enough or whether person young pass. All those things you go to compare. If something make something happen, else make something happen. Now so we dey do am. So make we quickly see some examples for how we fit use comparison operators. As we don't see this double equal sign for here, so we go see say it dey different from the single equal sign because that one will be one equal sign na assignment operator, meaning say we dey assign something to am. And likewise, the one we get this triple also, this 3 equals to sign, it is similar to this one, but it is check for the type. And I go explain to you now in a bit. So make we first create a variable and then make we assign that variable to something, right? So if we just say const item 1, and if we say we want to assign this item 1 to something, so make we assign them to a number. For example, if we just say 500. And if we assign them to that 500, we'll close them, right? So this single equals to is an assignment operator. It's not a comparison operator like we have here. It's not like this one, this double equals to. So make we see waiting it be and how it go to show us. So if I say I want console log the value now, I could just say console log and then make I log out the item 1. Item 1. Now you see say this item 1, they give me this 500. So anything I put here now, you go log out for our item 1. So if I say I want check whether item 1 they more than 500 or I want check whether item 1 they equals to something. Now then we go use comparison operator to take check whether item 1 they higher or item 1 they lower than that value. So make we see. If you say item 1 is equals to 400. Of course, item 1 no dey into equals to 400. So make we just try log this value out. So make we assign them to a variable like results. So we'll say const res and we're going to assign them to that value. So this now go do comparison for us, and then whatever results they here now we go save as this res result where we get for here, right? So make we go here, make we just duplicate this console log and then make we say res. Now with this say we don't get false. Even though we they deal with numbers for here, the comparison operator will always tell us truth or false. It will always tell us like that. So if I say now I want to change this 400 to 500, you go see say it go change to true for here. Because this item 1, it equals to 500. But if I change them to even 499, it goes still 100, 499, it no go work. So if I say, okay, make we change this value now. The triple equals to where we they call them. Or this one, it go check the value and it go check the type. So what do I mean by the type? So if I create another type now and I say const, make this variable be item 2, and this item 2 go also be make them 500, but I go make them as a string because they change in type. And the other one where they open a number. We go discuss more about types and all that, data types later. So if we go down here and we say we want to compare these values, if we say, okay, we want to check if item 1 they equals to item 2, for example, item 2. Once I do them like this, even though I get this 500 for here, it still gives me false for the results where they here. As we log this result for here, you just see it give me false. And this false will be Boolean type. Now the results where it give us, you see say it can't give me false for here as a result. So if I say, okay, I want to make it be string again, then I come out this single quotes where they here. If I come out them, the result could change to true. So it is say now, you don't check, say this item 1 and this item 2, then at this one, it equals both equals to 500. So if I say, okay, now I want to change something for here, it go tell me, say, that now false. And the other one where we get self now the not equals to operator. So that not equals to, if you just say, okay, so how we go down? Well, we go use the not operator. That are this one, the exclamation point. Exclamation point means not for JavaScript. So if we say not equals to, it just means say something no they equals to this thing. So how we go take check out? The statement where they make for here now, item 1, no they equals to item 2. But because it they equals to item 2, then a 500 they equals to 500. Now this item 1 here and this one here now the same, right? And this one here and this one are the same. The values both they the same, right? So because now the same, the results now maybe they check say this one, oh, they equals to this one, right? You go check and say, no, it equal to RAM. As it equal to RAM, as it be 500, you can say, this now, this not be true, so this now false. Because they equal. Because wait till they check and I say, if they equal, oh, make it tell us. For example, if I change this 5 now and I say make it be 4, you just say, not true. So because we they say item 1, they equals to item 2, Abi, the thing go say, make I check, it go check. As a checker, it will say, okay, no, they equals to this one. Now they go come give us the result. Say yes, they equals to that. Now they go give us true. Say not true. So the way programming they work, now make the computer, now you go write the code, now the computer go do the thinking. You just need to just tell the computer, say, I want you to make it do like this. The computer go say, okay. It go do like this. And once you give them instruction, it go follow your instruction to the letter. So you need to know the kind of instruction when they give, and that now waiting programming be. So moving on, for example, if you want to check the type, it go tell us, say, this is not equals to this, and the type is not equals to that. So obviously, if I say I want 500 true and change it to string, it go tell us, say, yes, we say, item 1, even though you get the same number, definitely get the same type, but item 2 not get the same type of item 1, right? The computer go say, yes, get the same type of item 1. At that time, it go come revert, give us the answer for here. You go do the comparison here, remember, and then you go do the result for here. When you give us the result, read on the log and here, say, yes, not true. Computer don't talk, say we sabi what they do. So always remember, say that exclamation point, it means the not equal sign, and the double equals also, or the triple equals, you go to check for the type anytime where you get up to 3. No say you go add another one here, or no go add 3 equals 2. You see, say I don't get error for there. So now only 2 equals 2 if they use this not operator. And then if you want to check for the type again, at that time you go to use only just 3 equals 2. All right. So make we see which other ones we fit get. Well, of course, you go if you don't see this greater than and less than. So make we see how they work. If you want to know, of course, whether greater than they less, make we check. So we go say 400, right? Our famous 400. So since be the same, we can say if item 1 they greater than item 2, that now if you just change this item 2 even to 50. So if you just change that one to 50, and you go see say, yes, item 1, that now number 1, or this 500 where they here, they equals to this item 2 or 50 where they here, right? So you go see say this item 1, it they greater than this item 2 where they here, right? So that now why it tell us say the result now 2. Make I come out this console log for here instead, because it look confusing. So if I say, okay, now I want to come check if it did less than, of course, if you still do less than, sorry, that's not keyboard error. So if I say it did less than, you go see say, yes, item 1, you say it did less than item 2. You go say, no. 500, they less than 50, right? So as they less than 50, you go say, no, that are false. Computer go tell you, say, now false, but the answer be that for there. And also, if you also do greater than equals to sign. So you go say, if it they greater than or it they equals to that value. A very good example be say, if I say, I want to make it be greater than, right? And then I want to make it be equals to. So I go say, if it they greater than or it they equals to this. Now there make it give me the answer. So you go check, is item 1, that now 500, is it greater than or equals to item 2, that now this 50? So because item 1, it is greater than this 50 when we get here for item 2, because item 1 is greater than item 2, now then we go come give us for the result, say, now true, it is equals to that or it be that. So if I say the equals now, it be 500, for example, you see say, it still they accept the same value, because item 1, they greater than item 2, but it they equals to item 2. Item 1 they equals to item 2. So now waiting they check if it they greater than or equals to. But they equals, if I just change this one to 501, you go say, you don't change that for me, say item 2, it pass item 1, so now false. Okay, so don't forget how they use that comparison equals to operator. Likewise, if you also get the less than, and it will still work the same. Say yes, item 1 they less than or equals to item 2, because right now it's 501, right? So make we see how we even use the ternary operator. What's the ternary operator? Well, now just where we say we fit they assign value to a variable if a condition they true or if it they false. Make we see how we fit down for here. So if I clean this code up small, just make we start small again, and then I say I want to make item 1 it is greater than item 2, for example, as we do before. So if it is greater than item 2, item 2, then we want to make something happen. So now then we go add the ternary operator. We want to return a string. So if item 1 it pass item 2, if it is greater than item 2 for here, then we're going to assign a string to him, or a value where we could put the string. Otherwise, we go then add another one. So we go do colon, and when we do that colon, now then we go come return the string where we want to return. So you see say here, it gives us an empty string. If you return string, if you return number, anything, if you return arrays, anything for here. But it go be this res, but a value go fit change based on waiting this comparison be, based on this ternary results. Say we use this question mark, and we use this semicolon. Now then we go come fit change the value. So make we add the result, make we see for action, make we add the result inside the code. So we go say for inside the string, day up, right? Otherwise, we go say day down. So make we check the results. So if it tells us say this same result where we don't use since this same res where we don't do, you see say they tell us say day down. That means say the thing day down. That means say item 1 no day higher than item 2. So whatever value will be passed for here now, it going to give us the results. This result, it going to change from either a day up or a day down based on waiting with the tell them. So if I tell and say, okay, we'll make this item 1, make it just be 5,000 now. Because you say, a day up. You understand? If I say make I drop this one down to 500, you go say a day down. So if I say, okay, make I leave them to this one self, you go equals to, you go tell us, say, okay, a day down. That because they greater. So this is say we're supposed to know how we go down. So if you even say, okay, if we want to make it be like this, 500, make we add the equals to sign. They go say, okay, day up. You understand? So you're supposed to know how to use your comparison operators and when to they use your ternary operators. Ternary operators, you can see them a lot for my code. You can see them a lot for a lot of people code. So they used to them. It's nicer, it's cleaner, they easier to use. So just they use them wherever you can to make your code slimmer. But for now, that's all we need to learn. I will see you now for the next video. Thank you.